Hey everyone, just a quick one this week. So, this was Memorial Day weekend. I went up to Fort Ticonderoga. They had a celebration for Memorial Day, which yesterday included both the replacement of the flag as well as a funeral procession to show what a funeral would be like at that time of that period of time. I spent most of my time up at the flag raising and then down watching a living history event. So I wanted to tell you guys about the two events. So first of all, the flag raising. They took what would be a flag that you typically see on your house and replaced it with a 40-foot U.S. flag. So if you're up around the Ticonderoga area and you look up at Mount Defiance, you will now see a 40-foot U.S. flag flying from the top of Mount Defiance. Now, Mount Defiance is the mountain that was used to repel or to convince Ethan Allen to leave Fort Ticonderoga. Mount Defiance is about a mile away from the fort. Now, a cannon is capable of firing almost 2 miles, a 4-pounder. So from the top of that mountain, they could fire down onto the fort. So Mount Defiance is both a mile away, but at a higher elevation than the fort. So arcing things in to hit inside the fort and negate the protection of the walls would have been fairly simple. But what they did was the American Legion came and helped them first ceremonially remove the existing flag and then unfurl the 40-foot flag. Now, that 40-foot flag was done in the traditional triangular fold, so it took a little effort to get that unfolded as they worked their way up to get the flag in position. There was a drummer and a fife, as well as 7 reenactors who fired the muzzles off 3 times to give it a 21-gun salute, as well as a member of the American Legion who played taps at the end of it. If you go over to my YouTube channel, you'll see a video of the flag flying in the early afternoon sun. Now, later on in the day, they had their normal cannon display. But afterwards, they had everybody go over to see how a hut would be constructed at that time. And they used the construction methods and the construction tools of the time, but they had the kids that were there participate, as well as the adults, in using the tools and working the way it would have been done during the period. And that is when they put the rafters up, for example, and they wanted to make an A-frame, what they would do is they would cut away at the very top for the width of the board, all right, about half the board. So if you think about looking at the end of the board, and let's say the board is 4 inches wide. So think of like a traditional 2x4. So with a 2x4, at the top of it, you would cut 2 inches down, and then you would slice off 1 inch. So that would leave at the very top, that 4-inch section would be only 1 inch deep. You would lay that against another similarly done piece. Now, you're not doing an angle cut, right? If you've seen traditional A-frame type construction, it's more of a angle cut. Both sides are cut at an angle, so when they're put together, they form the V shape that you wanted, depending on how much angle you wanted to have, how flat the roof was going to be, because these structures were going to be used for roofing. But here, when you cut it like that and you lay one on top of the other, they line up exactly in an A shape. Your roof structure is at a fixed pitch at that point because you've got your, the two boards are not cut. They're just overlaid one on top of the other. Then you would drill through and put in some wooden pegs. And those wooden pegs would help hold that structure together. So during that exercise, like I said, they had both children and adults participate and use the tools and the techniques of the time. And between the flag event and all the activity there, as well as the living history event here with them using those tools, there were ample opportunity to get some really good event photographs at the fort this weekend. So when you've got an opportunity to go to any kind of living history event or something similar, always look around for the opportunities to see what is available that you can get some photographs of. And bear in mind, when you've got a bunch of kids working very diligently with the tools, trying to get everything exactly right, it leads for some great opportunities to get some wonderful photographs. And that's what I got for you guys this week. And I will be back again to tell you more next week.